Hey everybody, it's Always Bookin Comedy. It's Monday. We're here with Starla Heinz. So exciting. You're in LA, right?
I am in LA. I'm
I
in
woke
LA right now.
I woke up in LA this morning. I'm now back in Colorado. I was in LA. Went out Saturday night. Was at the Ice House. Sunday night,
Okay.
last night. Did
Okay.
chocolate sundaes at Laugh Factory.
I
Was super fun. Have
love.
you ever done that?
I'm scheduled to do Chocolate Factory next year.
Next year, incredible, unbelievable wait list. I waited 3.5 years. They're now on a 7-year wait list. It was
Yes,
so fun. Have you been to one of those shows?
I have. I like to go. I go a lot. This is year
Yeah.
3 for me. And I was so excited when that's so funny you said that because when 2025 came in, I texted him, I'm so ready. My time, it's coming. And he was like, Starla, you're not until next year.
2026. They're currently booking into the 2030s right
I
now.
heard. I heard.
Absurd, absurd. But it was so fun.
I
I've
heard.
never been to. I don't know if black room is the right word or urban room, whatever you want to call it. Uh,
Urban. Let's be politically
there
correct.
we go.
Urban, because
An
you got an
urban
urban
room.
girl here.
Yeah, I've never performed in an urban room, let alone been at an urban room, and it was a blast. I went to both. I was on the late show. I went to the early show to see what it was about. I had so much fun. It was great. It was really cool.
Oh, when I tell you it's like a party Friday night all the time. The DJ's going, the audience gets in. You be like, you want to perform. You actually need that type of atmosphere. It
Yeah,
makes you perform better. It makes me perform better because when I know you're having a good time, I'm having a good time. I want to party right with you.
yeah. It was. The host did an incredible job. It really.
Hmm.
I host a lot of shows, and I learned a lot watching just the way they were. I mean, they were very funny, but on top of being funny, they were like cheerleaders for energy. You
Oh
know,
yeah, for
they were
sure.
they were like the MCs of the party, and,
Oh,
and they had the DJ. The DJ helps. That was a little different than most comedy shows, but
oh
super
yeah,
fun.
that host right there. I think also that host just got his name on a permanent wall at the Comedy Store.
You mean BT, that guy?
Okay.
Or
Oh, then there was another host. Well, all the
oh, okay.
hosts are great. All the
Okay.
hosts are great.
Yeah.
But these hosts down here, well, it's just like as long as it takes you to get to the Comedy Store, that's what these hosts are going through. You got to be up on your
Yeah.
game
Yeah.
because you know the
Maybe that guy bailed once he got his name on the Comedy Store.
no, no, no. You know what? Because Chocolate Sunday is every Sunday, and for
Yeah.
so long, somebody's got to take a break
Yeah. Exactly.
or
Exactly.
some
Maybe
Tylenol.
Yeah, maybe it was on the road or something. We got a question online from North Carolina already. How many people go up? How long do you have? Quick logistic overview. The opening show was a 7 o'clock show. The second show was a 9:30 show. They have first impressions, which are people like Starla and I who sign up
Hmm.
and wait years and years and years. Anybody can sign up. Just Google chocolate sundaes. You'll find the Google web form, and you submit some tape. I think I don't know if everybody gets in, but I think most people get in. They just get put on a very long wait list. And probably the idea is if you're still doing comedy in 7 years, you're going to be pretty good. So why not? Why not book
This is
the
true,
person
but
7 years
not
from now?
everybody gets in because, and
Oh,
back in
okay.
COVID, they just recently got back to this list where they are. When it was in
Oh, okay.
COVID, everyone was doing 3-minute auditions. And
Okay.
they tell you, and it was super, super hard to get in. It'd be like out of 30, maybe 3'd make it through.
Wow. And what do
Yeah.
you mean
So,
by make it through? So let me just finish what I was saying. So in the early show, a host went up, he did like 10 or 15 minutes. There's a DJ, and then they did first impressions, which was a series of 3-minute sets. There might have been five, I think,
mhm,
5 people who got to perform three
there you
minute
go.
sets on the early show, which was bumping. And then they went into professionals. There was somebody who had a Netflix credit. There was two other touring comedians doing 15 minutes. They switched hosts. The second host did a longer set, and then they had a headliner. And by the way, the headliner, have you ever seen Tony Rogers? Do you know who that is?
Yes.
Unbelievable. Like I'm not exaggerating here. I watch a lot of comedy. I've seen a lot of comedians. I've not been blown away by a comedian like I was last night by Tony Rogers in years. Probably Derek Stroop out of Denver, Colorado, and now lives in New York City and did the Tonight Show and is regular at the Cellar now. I haven't seen, like, nobody has made me laugh that hard and just been
Oh,
that unique and he is just laugh, 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 and so energetic and so fun. And he's 63 years old, which is crazy. You can't. He doesn't seem
Hmm.
like it, but he does. He did say on stage he was 60. Anyways, he was incredible. So that's the lineup on the early show. The late show, very similar format, except there were only 2 first impressions, and they both got 5 minutes. And I don't really understand the difference between the two. I got 5 minutes, and I guess the people getting 5 minutes have done the 3 minutes before.
They're the graduates. That's what they call the graduates.
Yeah. So I was a graduate, but little secret,
I know.
I never performed the first time.
Well, if they
I got
heard of you,
automatically bumped to a graduate. I don't know if it was like a paperwork error or what happened.
we'll take it.
But
We'll take it.
yeah, who knows? So you do the 3 minute, and then you find out if you get bumped up to the 5 minute.
Yes. And then
Okay.
you come back and it's almost as it's not as long as a wait, but it's
Okay.
still a wait.
And then what do you do the third time?
Hopefully you get 15 minutes. You're part of the
Oh,
family.
I can't imagine they would. I mean, everybody was on the Tonight Show or had a major TV credit. Like
Mhm.
I don't think they're gonna book me, but we'll
Well,
see.
you never know. And then you never know what you're out here doing in these comedy streets. You could be auditioning. This is LA and you're coming back and forth. So
Yeah.
you don't know. I was on Squid Games and I'm still only getting 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So if you're here in LA and I'm a member of SAG,
Yeah.
that's exactly what you're doing. You're not just waiting for it to happen. You're going out, you're hustling, you're doing the auditions. If you're lucky enough to book a gig, then you're lucky enough to have some credits, which makes it even better.
Right. Yeah. Huh. Interesting. So I wonder actually if it would have been better to do the 3 minutes, because then I would have gotten the 3 minutes, then later the 5 minutes. But I might just be stalled out at this point. We'll see
No, I
what
think
happens.
that they'll just have you come back and do another 5 or bump you up.
Maybe.
Because think about it, if you got jumped up to the 5, it's
Yeah.
only up from there.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it was intentional and not just an accident. But it could have very well been an accident.
I think maybe you're just that good. Quit
Maybe.
downplaying
It was
yourself.
fun. It
Maybe
was fun.
you're the
I did
maybe
have a
you're
good
the
time.
beat.
I did have a good time. And the other comic who did 5 minutes did not do nearly as well as I did.
Well, then say less. See, then there you go. And this is where it comes because if you really can't do well in that type of audience,
Yeah.
and then traveling back and forth, you say you were just in LA and you're back in Colorado. I believe in taking things on the road because if you can't just be funny in your backyard. If you're funny everywhere.
Yeah.
And you must try your material out in every avenue, in every genre. You
Yeah.
must go and get it. And if you did well in Chocolate Sundays, well,
Yeah.
pop the
I'm not
color.
saying I didn't do great. I did good. I did fine. People came up to me, even I performed from minute 15 to 20 of a 2.5 hour show. That late show went very long.
Oh yeah.
And outside the club, like people were walking up to me and saying, "You were terrific. You were great," which that stuff you got to be careful really listening to, because I've had people come up to me and say, "You were great. That joke about alligators was incredible." And the person who this isn't this show, but like on a different show, the person who told the alligator show was like a 300-pound black woman. And so like obviously not me. And people just don't remember comedians.
Well, I mean, there's so many urban rooms here in LA. There's another one called Crack 'em Up Thursdays.
Okay. Where's that?
And that's in a comedy store, and that's on Thursday.
Okay.
And on Crack 'em Up Thursday is where you get a lot of your celebrity black comedians come in. Dave Chappelle comes in there all the time. T.I. comes in there all the time. And that's
Is
where you
T.I.
can get
funny?
bumped.
Let's talk about that for a second. Have you seen
Okay,
T.I.?
let's do it.
Yeah. Have you seen him perform?
I have seen him perform several times. His money is funny. He talks more about T.I. talks more about, he talks more about he's rich. When
Okay.
I saw him, he kept talking, but he talks about what he knows. I'm not rich, so I can't talk about that. And the
Right.
best comedy is, bringing the audience into his world.
Yeah.
So that's what
So
he talks
Does
about.
he get a decent audience reaction? Like, do
Well, he
people?
gets a built-in audience because Crack 'em Up Thursday is a show just like Chocolate Sundays.
Okay, so they're hyped up. They're excited.
They're already hyped up,
Yeah.
but Crack
And
'em
he's
Up
famous.
and Crack 'em Up Thursday show starts late. It starts at 10:30 at night.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, that part, right?
Yeah.
And that's a show where you can the lady who does that show, she wants you to come in, she wants you to go and introduce yourself to her and be a patron before you hit the stage. So you
Oh,
can go and be a patron and show her that you're part of the audience before 6 months to a year before maybe she'll let you get
yeah.
up there.
Does she,
So
what room is it in?
it's upstairs in the belly room.
Room? Okay, cool, fun. And when you're a patron, are you paying or they let the comics in
They
for
let the
free?
comics in free.
Okay, nice. I'll
So
definitely
that's
next
good
time
because
I'm in
that's
Tampa
like
on
a 20 to
Thursday,
$30
I'll check it out.
ticket.
This is my new mission. I want to go to more urban rooms. They're fun. Like
You
I like as a
definitely.
customer, I want to go, but also I'd like to perform in some more. It'd be fun.
Well, you can because her name is Nichelle and she has two rooms. She
Okay.
has one out in I forgot the name of that park. Uh,
Echo
I,
Park, Silver
no,
Lake
no.
Park.
Lamert Park.
Okay.
Lamert Park, which is off of Crenshaw in LA. And then she has Crack 'em
I've
Up
heard of
Thursday.
Crenshaw.
Okay, so hey, there you go. You want to be urban, dude. There you go.
Yeah.
That's more than urban. You in the hood.
Okay.
You're in the hood. But you know what? It's just like me coming from the hood. I did Portland, Maine Comedy Festival, and I was the only
It
piece
don't
of
get
color
whiter than
there.
that. It don't get whiter than that. That's
Hey,
incredible.
wait, I was the only chocolate. And I was like, goodness gracious, am I an appetizer or what? So it's about you taking your comedy to wherever it is, you not feeling uncomfortable and you just slaying wherever
That's
you go. And I've done, oh, and I saw that you've done you're doing the Hollywood at the end of this month. I
the Hollywood?
Hollywood, are you going to
No,
Hollywood?
no. No, what's that?
Oh, okay. I thought I saw I was reading about you. I thought I saw your
Okay.
schedule where you're doing the Hollywood. That's a club in New Orleans.
Oh, Howling. I misheard you. I thought you
Oh,
said Holly Wolf, like
oh,
Hollywood,
okay.
but with an F. Yeah, I'm doing the Howling Wolf. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
in New
yeah.
Orleans.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a club in New Orleans. I've done that room several times.
Okay,
This dude named Red is amazing. So,
okay.
you got to hit all these spots and do all this good stuff. If you're
Is
funny,
Howling Wolf an urban room?
no,
Okay,
but it could, no, you don't
okay,
know what you're going to get in
okay.
there because you've got the jazz, you've got the drinkers, you've got a little bit of everything because it could be all jazz and all, urban one. It just depends, really, like any other show, who's throwing the show,
Yeah.
and then we really want to get in, you really want to get a lot of people in. I'm sorry. I'm at school. My class starts in about an hour. So I decided to take this at
Nice.
school. So it just depends because I did New Orleans Comedy Festival as well,
Okay.
and you had people from everywhere.
Yeah.
And
How was
so
Portland? How was the Portland comedy? What year did you do it?
I did Portland, Maine. Okay, so I did Portland, Washington 2 years ago.
You mean
Portland,
Oregon?
Maine 4 years ago.
Okay. All right.
And the only I you know what? The only good thing I can say about that was the lobster
Yeah.
because they were unprepared. When I think that was the most disorganized festival I went to, only because the venues they had one great venue, and unfortunately they kept that for their locals,
Okay.
which I thought was disrespectful when you got people coming in from
Yeah.
California. They put us in rooms that they didn't even know we were coming.
Mm. It's like
You
Amway
know,
comedy. Did you fly into Portland or you fly into Boston and drive?
no, I flew into Portland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Direct or
So
connecting?
I'm sorry.
Direct or connecting?
I'm pretty sure it was connecting.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too sure where we. I don't think they have too many direct flights except from here to San Francisco.
Yeah. Um,
But I was in. I did a show at Mic Drop yesterday in Chandler, and
Arizona?
yeah, I was in Arizona.
Look at
I got
you
back.
traveling around.
I do. Well, let me tell you, I am a retired probation officer. So, and when
Really?
you mentioned that guy, 60,
Whoops. Oh no. Starla's internet cut out. Maybe her school found her transmission. Hopefully she gets back on. I'm gonna I'll fill for a little bit, but let me send her an email just to make sure she knows that hey, you got cut off. Can you reconnect? And I'm gonna give her my phone number and dash that off. Okay, everybody, we're back. We're gonna do a little solo stuff. I'm going to remove, I wonder if her camera died. I'll leave her black box up for a little bit. Sometimes I'll expand and take over the whole thing. But Mark in North Carolina, if you got any questions, anybody online, shoot me some questions. So I went into LA this weekend, super fun. Had dinner one night, and these drunk old ladies started talking to me and some friends. And it turns out they were original members of the Groundlings. So they were like friends with Pee Wee Herman. And oh, she's coming. I think your camera turned off, Starla. I don't know if you can hear us. We can't hear you. So here's a joke. Okay, so she disconnected on her own. That's pretty funny. By the way, we'll turn this into a one-on-one conversation for a second. Mark in North Carolina. I'm coming to North Carolina. I forget where. It's on my website. Are you close to that? You can tell me next week if you research it. And should we find it? Here we go. She's back.
Yay!
Okay, awesome. All right. She's back.
I'm back. Oh my goodness.
They tried to censor you, but no. She's persistent. All right. You were talking about being in Arizona and being retired.
I was in Chandler. I was at the mic drop, and that was such a cool show because it was a 60s theme vibe, and everybody dressed up and 60s people, and it was a costume contest. The audience members came in costumes and
Cool.
bell bottoms and flowers and hippies, and we picked theme music to come out to, like The Doors. It was amazing. So I like that. I do travel a lot because I'm retired. I turned 63 a couple of weeks ago. So this is like
You don't
my,
look it. That
I
whatever
appreciate
camera
that.
you have, I need to get that camera.
It's called filters.
Okay.
But this is what it is now. A lot of seasoned people, we've done what we've done, and we're coming back. We're coming back, and we've got some material. The
Yeah.
kids are out the house. We're empty nesters, and we are doing the do. You've got some seasoned women out there. You got some seasoned men out there.
Yeah.
Them young folks better watch out.
Yeah, I got some ideas for you. So you're a probation officer. One, if you're
Retired.
going to Arizona on the regular, JP's Comedy Club is owned by a former Chicago Police Department. You should go down, do the open mic, and introduce yourself. Tell them you were in law enforcement, if that's the right verbiage.
What's the name of the comedy club?
JP's Comedy Club. It's in Gilbert, Arizona. Pretty close to the mic drop. 20-30 minute drive or something.
Okay, I will send.
Next time you're down there, go hit up their open mic and do great and say hi, and hopefully you can get some stage time. There's another thing. There's this out of Denver. There's this comedian Corey David who runs something called True Crime, Interrogation True Crime Stories, and comics go up and tell crime stories. And then the audience asks questions. So I'm sure you have some incredible, very funny crime-related stories.
Oh, love it. What's the name of the Thank you, first of all, for the gems. Sure. What's the name of the comedy club in Denver?
Well, he takes his show on the road. All over the place.
Okay.
He's been to Portland, Oregon. He's been to Albuquerque, New Mexico. He has run the show out of Comedy Works in Denver. Comedy Works and Comedy Works South, all over the place. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I'll send them over an EPK kit.
There you go. Awesome.
Yeah. We're like working with it.
Do you travel? Like, how did that work? Did you fly in Sunday morning, or did you go down?
I travel everywhere. I came back. I was in Rome. I did 2 shows in Barcelona, 1 show in Rome.
Barcelona's supposed to have a great scene. By the way, real quick, for the listeners or viewers, Corey David has an episode of Always Bookin Comedy. You can find it on YouTube. Go watch it and learn all about that interrogation thing. And JP, the owner of JP's Comedy Club, he's coming up in the next month. He'll have an episode of Always Bookin Comedy soon. So if you watch this in like August 2025, you can go find that episode.
Oh, I can't wait.
And 3, we had a Barcelona comedian just a few weeks ago. I was traveling or something. We had to do a pre-taped episode that I'd taped like 6 months earlier. And you can find that episode as well and learn all about the Barcelona comedy scene, which is incredible. Michelle Wolf lives out there. They have a bunch of English language clubs.
I know Michelle.
Do you really? From
I've been
Rome
out there. I've been out there
or from
twice. They've
Barcelona?
got this one beautiful comedy club. I can't think of the name. It's downstairs, but the stage is this huge butterfly
Yeah,
wings. I mean, that they're kind to us. If you come out, what I do since I travel a lot, I'll hit up the club ahead of time, just like I did Rome and said, "Hey, I'm coming. I'm coming to town." They'll say, "Send something," and I did the same for Tokyo too. And they say, "Send something," and if they like what you send them, then they'll put you on.
that's incredible.
So
Do
Tokyo
they
does that, and Paris. I have a friend that's out of not Colorado, Oregon. She goes to Paris a lot doing comedy.
really? Do you
Yes,
get paid?
but
Do you get paid when you do these?
she gets paid. But also the thing is too, she works for the airline, so she
Oh,
gets
she
to
gets like
fly.
free tickets. Yeah,
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 yeah, she gets free tickets. I can't afford to do that. It's like, okay, you can.
yeah,
She gets free tickets, so she has much more access to travel than many people.
yeah. Where were you a parole officer in LA?
Probation,
Oh,
Los
sorry.
Angeles County. Probation, Los
Okay,
Angeles County.
okay. Wow,
And I just retired in 2023.
wow,
So
incredible.
I spent 10 years with juveniles. It's almost like the sheriff's department. First, you have to work your way through in the camps, I mean, in juvenile hall, and then camps. And then by the time I finished, I worked deputy probation officer field. By the time anyone got to my desk, you'd have to do between 4 to 7 different prison terms. So I was an ultra high risk probation officer.
Whoa.
Yes, yes. And one of the reasons why I um speeded up my retirement, 20 years, I didn't do 25, is because LA probation is in an influx. It's in a hot mess. That's, a lot of the staff were leaving the halls because these kids aren't really kids.
Yeah,
You got a 13-year-old 6'5" punching you and and doing things, and they weren't keeping their staff, so they were asking seasoned probation officers to get off of the desk and go back into juvenile hall.
oh, geez.
And
Yeah,
I'm like, you know what? At 60, I don't think I want to deal with a 13-year-old and risk losing my job.
yeah. Um, I got another question for you. So that guy, what was his name? The comedian I was so excited about who headlined.
Right, right.
Do you remember his
He's
name?
Tony Rogers.
Tony Rogers. Yeah, Tony Rogers. I think he's out of Sacramento. I'm not 100% on that. Who
Sacramento's
else
nice.
is from that world that is just dynamite? Like I'd never even heard of him.
Okay, then
He
you
was
should
so
look up
famous.
CP.
CP. Okay.
Yes. CP is amazing.
Yeah. Out of where? LA.
Out of LA. He travels a lot too. But CP, the comedy, what I like so much about the comedians out here and to even start comedy out here, there's like a code, there's a cadence. And there's a rhythm there's a rhythm to the song, there's a rhythm to the joke telling. It's that I remember when I first started, and some people frowned upon this, but I had took a comedy class at Flappers, and they kind of teach you that cadence,
Hmm.
and that's something that sticks with you. That 1, 2, 3, that rule of three, you
Hmm.
know. And then these young men learning to get the flow of the story. There's a song that rises from it. If anyone can find the cadence and the beauty of comedy, you're on stage. It's like a song you're singing.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is a lot like music.
Hmm.
Let's talk about Squid Games a little bit. That's very
Okay,
exciting. So you've been on
let's.
Netflix.
I've been
Tell
on
us.
that. I am still the screensaver for episode 1, Squid Games the Challenge. So go check it out because I lasted longer as a screensaver than I did in the show.
Spoiler alert for everybody. Uh, tell. How do you get involved in that? How'd that happen?
Well, they had a nationwide auditioning. And so, just like anything in LA, you just signed up. I actually didn't even know it was Squid Games that I was applying for until I was 6 months into the auditioning process.
Whoa.
It took me 10 months to get on that show. So it was after I went through my fourth round. the oral interviews. I knew it was a reality show. I just didn't know which. They kept saying, "Are you competitive? Do you like games? And give me examples of this and this, and what would you do for money?" And you be like, you're just talking smack. You're just like, oh, you're just having a great time. So it was intense because, even as a probation officer, and I've had some decent jobs, they did such a thorough background check only because Netflix name is attached to it. So
Yeah.
they have Netflix attorneys going through everything. They did a background check that went all the way back to when I was 18. And I'm 63, by the way. You had to list all your residents
Yeah.
and every relationship you were ever in.
Whoa.
Yes, and this is where it gets funny. And and I think, and this is where we tell our kids, I don't know if you have kids or not, but this is when they take a fine-tooth comb and go over your background. Because if you ever had arguments or someone, then they have a psychologist come in. Did that affect you? Did that breakup affect you? How do you feel? And why they have the attorneys too is they want to know if you've been, how many relationships you've been in, how many marriages, because is any of your ex relationships going to come back and sue Netflix?
Because if you talk about them, you mean?
Right. Well, even if you talked about them or not, they would come back and sue you and say, she owes me money, or should that. They'll
Uh,
just come, people come out the network. They want to know if that relationship ended amicably.
right.
If you ever had any restraining orders. A lot of people were getting, and then I look at things today and I'm like, how did this person pass the background?
That's funny.
Because I see some craziness.
Yeah.
It was such a huge thing. Um, they just wanted to know everything about you.
Yeah. Do
And
you?
then a drug test, and then you took a drug test, you took a psychological test.
Wow.
But the I knew it was Squid Games. Like, I didn't even know I was going until a week before I was supposed to go. That's just how down to the wire it was. They wanted you to pack and then pack unended
Huh.
for a good
Yeah.
month,
And where
and
were
then
you
it
going?
would
Where was it filmed?
London.
Whoa. Okay. I didn't know
Yes.
that. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Got a free trip to London. It was amazing. Me getting lost in London as well. At least I got to go shopping in London. And I
Nice.
got to take the tube.
Fun.
And there's some great things have coming out of acting and comedy. You find a family in comedy.
Yeah.
You there's a family that you hear, and there's a sisterhood, there's a brotherhood. There's also a lot of cutthroat stuff too.
Yeah.
It's
And a
it's
lot of rejection.
Oh, are you kidding? It's like acting. I get rejection should be my middle name. I'm surprised I'm married. You have to have a tough skin. You can't take it personal.
Yeah.
You can't, because they're just not looking for you. Back in the day, even when Marilyn Monroe was around, back in the day, they were looking for someone who could fit a size 2 dress. They weren't looking for talent. They said if she fit the dress, she got the part.
Yeah. That's
you
wild. Did you?
Yes. So, and I remember even me back in the day when I was a flight attendant with United, I was telling someone this story. They flew me TWA when TWA was in. TWA flew me all the way to Texas, and they did a group interview. That's when they put you in a big circle. You're sitting in a chair like this. They put you in a big circle, and then they put a scale in the middle of the circle.
Unbelievable.
One by one, you had to walk up and stand on the scale. And I'm slim.
Yeah.
They flew me back. I didn't get the job because I was 4 pounds overweight.
Whoa.
That was and this was back in the day. Let me tell you, this is what they had the biggest. All the airlines had a class action lawsuit.
Yeah.
And now, of course, they can't do that. They can't hire you upon your looks or your weight. But
Right.
back then, back in the 80s, when this happened, yes.
Yeah. That's
So,
crazy.
so
Uh,
rejection, try someone flying you somewhere, and then commenting on your appearance and telling you go home.
yeah. That's nuts. What a crazy journey you've had. We got to wrap this up. Anything else that you wanted to talk about?
No,
No?
I'm
We got
good.
any big goals for 2026 next year?
You know, I'm in school. I'm at UCLA acting. I'm getting in their acting
Oh,
school. That's where I'm at right now.
oh,
I'm full time. My goal is to be a series regular.
wow. That's
Yeah,
great. Do you go out for regular auditions?
I do. I go out for regular auditions. So my goal, I have two, to open up my own comedy club and to be a series regular. Dream big while you're at it, right?
Yeah, why not? Where do you want to open up your club? In
In
LA?
Riverside. It would be in Riverside.
Okay. Is that a suburb of LA? I don't really.
Yes,
Yeah.
with it. Let me tell you, it. I drive an hour and 45 minutes for a 5 minute mic. I'm in the suburbs to drive to LA for my. That's how deep and dedicated I am for comedy in school.
That's crazy. I do that too, but I get to another state when I do it. You're just 30 miles away, probably.
You're lucky. You're amazing.
Yeah. All right. Where can
Thank you
people
for
find you,
having me.
Starla? Of course, this was super fun. I love this conversation.
You
Where can
guys can
people find
find
you?
me on Instagram. It's at everyone's fave auntie. EVERYONES fave FAVE auntie. You know why? Because I'm that ghetto auntie. I'm that auntie.
Incredible. Starla Heinz, everybody. We'll be back next week. We got a huge back catalog. Check them all out. Big things coming for Starla, I'm sure. We'll see you